Welcome to the second devlog, part 1 of PolyZom. That's right, the project finally has a title. I'm going to be trying something a little different and splitting the devlog into 2 parts. The first part will be what I've done. If you don't care how the game works or why, and you just want to see the progress that I've made, you only need to watch this video. The second part / video will be this is how we do it. If you're a game developer yourself or just interested in how everything works, then part 2 will be released in a week. With that out the way, let's see what I've done. We left off having just one weapon, the movement system, and some really basic AI. I released the build and I got immediate feedback about the poor frame rate. I told them to buy a new graphics card, which saved me having to do any extra work. No, but seriously, I made a graphics setting and mouse sensitivity option. It's really basic at the moment, but at least everyone can now play it. Another thing pointed out was a huge FPS drop when you shoot and empty a mag. I had to do some research as I'm still quite new to Unity, and it turns out creating and destroying stuff is a pretty resource heavy way of doing things. I've never had this problem with Game Maker, as I could always create and destroy as many bullets as I wanted, meaning I had to Google what else I could do. Turns out you have to do a thing known as object pooling. This is where the computer gets too hot from creating so many objects, and so the objects take a swim in a pool to cool down. Okay, maybe it doesn't. Object pooling just means we no longer have to destroy and create the objects. We can disable and re-enable them instead. I had to watch my boy Bracky's video on it, as I had no idea what the heck it even was. Instantly the problem was solved, and I could now shoot as much as I wanted without it impacting performance. Now we got the boring stuff done, I could go back to the super cool pew pew stuff. Before I start showing you the guns, please note these are just the foundations. They are not the final guns in any shape or form. First up, I added an SMG. This is pretty much exactly the assault rifle, just less damage, faster fire rate, and less spread. At the moment, all the weapons use the same animations, as I don't want to create custom animations without first having the final gun models. Next was a pistol. I tried something different with this, and put the torch in the left hand instead of it being attached to the gun. I'm still not sure how I feel about this, so please do let me know. I'd say this is how I'd handle melee weapons, while you have a torch equipped too. After the pistol, I added in a shotgun. I can't wait to add a knockback to the enemies and limbs being blown off. The shotgun already feels super fun to use, so adding those juicy parts will make it feel even more amazing. Last but not least, I added a sniper rifle. I'll eventually have scopes similar to this for the assault rifle and SMGs, but for now the sniper rifle is the only weapon with a proper scope. Yes, there will be more than 5 guns, but for now I've found that these 5 are enough to get started working on the actual game, and not just having it as a weapon tech demo. So to get us started in this core loop, I first have to look at the AI I have, and adjust it into what I picture the AI should be. At the moment, the AI just chases you at spawn, and when he reaches you, he just, does this. In the movie I Am Legend, the infected almost huddle around in groups, and when they become alerted, they hunt at crazy speeds. This is pretty easy to do, and with a few key taps, I got this. As you can see, the AI will now chill out with their bros until I come in and... They will now try and attack me if I get too close, and they even deal damage to me. You probably notice I have a hunger and thirst bar. At the moment, I cannot eat or drink, but don't you worry child. I'll add that soon. With that all said and done, I feel I have a nice little base to work on, and from here we can go in 2 directions. When it comes to game development, you'll normally see 2 common approaches. The vertical slice and the minimum viable product. The vertical slice is where you try to build a tiny fraction of your game, like 10 minutes of gameplay, but at the quality you would like the end product to be. Almost like a tiny demo. Now in the industry, these are more comparable to your pilot episodes of a TV series, where they either get given the green light or it gets canned or changed into something else. In the indie scene, however, think of it like creating an amazing movie trailer, and everyone gets real excited and hyped for your movie. But little do they know, you still haven't finished writing the script. The benefits to doing this? Well, you get a solid idea on how the game will look in the end. And also, because what you showcase should be super high quality and polished, you usually get a lot of attention very quickly. Go on to Kickstarter and look in the games category and you'll see exactly what I mean. Now the obvious downside to this is that a lot of the time the studio just can't live up to the quality or promises they make from their vertical slice. And more people end up disappointed in the game because they aren't getting the game that was shown to them. I used to fall into the trap of doing this, as when you're making something, you start getting proud of it and you want to show off your hard work and have people play your game and be interested in it. However, I have never managed to finish making any game by going this route. The other common method for game development, which is what I've used to finish making every game I've made, has helped me complete and come second in a game jam, make Cyberpunk 2077 in a weekend, kind of, is the minimum viable product. What this means is instead of focusing on making your game look amazing and trying to polish up every feature as much as possible before moving on to the next, you just make the game. I don't mean make the entire game. I'm talking about what makes your game your game. Remember in my last video, I showed how this gun and this gun are exactly the same. Behind all the effects, models and animations, camera shake, gun sway, they both really do the exact same thing. The code for shooting and checking what it hits is unchanged. Close your eyes and imagine you're playing Call of Duty, but there are no models. Everything is just cubes and beans. Imagine no animations, no effects. Imagine all the art and all the sounds were gone. Does that game look fun to you? If you were to be shown this and told this is the next Call of Duty and that it is 50% done, would you be excited and pre-order it? Probably not, right? But the game is still the same. It still plays the same, right? But it doesn't feel the same. Now, why would I purposely do this? Why would I want my game to look bad and miss out on all that early possible attention and hype I could potentially get? Well, I'm making this game as my dream game. I can see how I want it to look in my head, and because I'm doing this as a passion project, I'm not looking at trying to secure funds or pre-orders. I just want to make a great game. And to make a great game, you need to have great gameplay. No amount of art or polish is gonna fix that. The way to get to the point where I can test out the gameplay as well, by making the cool gameplay. If I was to not have worried about the gun animations, the hit effects, the gun sway, screen shake, the hands with their rigging, I would have saved hours. Now imagine that polish being added on to every single feature right when I decide to add them. I'd probably only get a feature added every week, and I won't get to see how all the features work in tandem until towards the end. Take my Cyberpunk in a weekend video. The game is terrible, however, there are so many core features in it simply because I didn't spend time polishing them. And in just one weekend, it is a semi-playable game. If I was to carry on with that project, what you are seeing is the worst it will ever be. Each week would be spent polishing and improving the foundation. So that's what I'm going to do with PolyZom. I'm going to be getting as many core features as possible built in over the next 2 weeks. They will look terrible, but they'll do what they need to do. You don't build a house by making one wall at a time from start to finish. You build a house by starting off, getting a good foundation and structure, then making it look pretty later. Using this method, you make rapid progress on adding features and content, and then you get to spend the rest of your time just focusing on the really fun part, where you get to transform your game, visually and the way it feels. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and or subscribe, and I'll see you next time.